Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cathedral check-in for the week. My name is Jonathan Brower. I'm the Communications Officer at Christchurch Cathedral, and I have two very special guests with me today. I'll pass it over to them to introduce themselves.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yes, kia ora tātou. My name is Rebecca Beauchamp. I am originally from Aotearoa, New Zealand. My dad is Māori. He's Tūhoe and Ngāti Kohanga. And my mom is second generation born in the Lekwungen territory, which we currently are situated right now. And we just want to really acknowledge those that have come before us in the Lekwungen territory of the Esquimalt and Songhees nations. I am the team lead and cultural mentor here at the Victoria Native Friendship Center. I've been here for the past 5 years, and we have my cohort here, who will introduce herself in 2 seconds, built our program from the ground up 5 years ago.
I'm Joanne Kakawash, and I am also a visitor here on the Lekwungen territory. And I've been living here since 2015, and I've been working with the VNFC since 2015 as well. And I'm originally from, I was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. My mother is from the Pine Creek First Nation in Manitoba, and my father is Russian. And I'm not too sure exactly when they came here, but yeah. And
Great. Well, nice.
I'm the team lead, sorry, and the family navigator. Sorry.
Team lead and family navigator. Thank you. Awesome. And I also am here on the Songhees and Esquimalt's territory, the unceded territory of the Lekwungen speaking peoples. And I'm coming to you from my home today. So today we are featuring the November monthly designated donation, which is the Victoria Native Friendship Center. And so you can make a donation directly to them or through Christchurch Cathedral and earmark it for the Victoria Native Friendship Center. So I want to tell you all that, first of all, Rebecca and I actually went to high school together. So we've known each other for, oh my goodness, like 2 decades. I don't know, something like that.
Yes, don't age us too much, yes.
Yeah. We used to be in band together. So Rebecca played a couple of instruments, the French horn and the clarinet.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so I just, we want to really feature what the Victoria Native Friendship Center does for those who are watching who don't actually know how that works on the ground. So a lot of people have probably heard of it, and it's a big presence. I mean, 52 years in the community, but what does it look like right now? And then I would love to hear about your roles in the organization.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Yes, so the Victoria Native Friendship Center primarily supports urban Indigenous people that, for the most part, are living off reserve. So we are a hub, if you think of the VNFC as that. We have many programs that support our families and our children and our elders. So let's start from the top, I guess, down. The elders program? Sure. So Lisa McCure, she manages our elders program, which has throughout COVID really stepped up. I'm not sure of the numbers of how many she supports, but it's quite a few in our communities. But it's not also that she's had to support them through COVID. So now they are decked out with their iPads. They do community bingos. They have a fundraising group where they have, our old people are making jams and beading and making medicine pouches. So that goes into their programs. We have our youth program that supports many youth in our communities. They run after school programs. They run out of many schools where they will support youth firsthand if they are needing, school support, if they're needing support with finance, with education, with counseling.
They also offer trainings for the youth, well, during non-COVID times, of course. And I don't know if that's going to be starting up again soon, but they offer like food safe, WMIS. They offer all those trainings for youth as well.
Which is a really big need. And then also like summer programs. The youth program is really dedicated to exactly that. Our youth are in need of extra support, and they are there to pick up and really have an overall support space for them. Creating that safety, we talk about that a lot throughout all of our programs. How do we create safety? How do we build those relationships that are really key? From youth, we have SEER. We have the career opportunity and employment, and that works on youth, but also young adults into adults for resume writing.
They also assist with post-secondary, with helping with funding for post-secondary training and education, and getting them enrolled into different programs.
We have family support, which is exactly what it sounds like, supporting our families if they have ministry involvement, if they're needing extra food, shelter, if whatever they need as a family. We have our family service supports for that. We have a health team, which is really crucial for if we think about how far trauma goes back, having these really true conversations of mental health and how we can really start supporting, right? As opposed to just thinking we can keep putting band-aids on pieces and not really supporting Indigenous people from themselves out almost. So within the VNFC, we have supports for the staff that can go in. We have massages and acupuncture that can really support their mental health as well. Working at a level of community, we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves as well.
With the supports for staff, they also offer that to community as well. They also offer acupuncture for community and massages for community. And the health team has a calendar that goes out all the time.
We have a child at the door wanting our attention. Hello.
I don't know if we mentioned that we team lead the daycare. When we mentioned that we're team leads, we team lead the daycare. So, but yes, so the health team also offers like different things for community. So you can always call the front reception and look into that. But on the website and on the Facebook pages, you can find calendars for different things that the health team offers. And within the health team, they also have their housing program. So there's one worker that helps people, like families who are in need of help with housing. And then they have a separate worker who helps single people who are in need of housing assistance. So that falls under the health team as well. And they also have an addictions counselor.
Yeah. So there's a lot in that program.
Yeah.
And then moving into early years, so there's ASCD, which is Aboriginal Child Supportive Development, and then we have AIDP, which is Aboriginal Infant Development. And through there, we also have the ASLP, which is our speech and language pathologist that runs through there, and our FASD, which is fetal alcohol syndrome support for our community. And they work with children depending on which program they're supporting, which age group. It's either infants or into toddler all the way up until age, is it 12 now? Yeah, age 12, which is great, which is a great support for parents, especially when their children are in daycare and they're transitioning into school. And when you think about the VNFC as an over-encompassing, like an overall support hub, we have many families that have crossed through many of our programs, because that's what we try to do as much as possible, right? We also have
ECD.
Yeah, and early childhood department. Yeah, so our ECD supports families in the day. They could run lunch programs if they need support with new moms, playgroups. Yeah, so really a parent can bring their child in, or a couple children, or their families, and sit, connect, chat, get support in that time as well from those that work within that program, which is really nice. And then really build from there, from those relationships, right? We talk about, it doesn't take just one person to raise a child, it takes the whole community. And that's what the VNFC really supports here. And then our program.
Well, before we get to our program, there's also the housing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Housing. Yes. You take that.
VNFC has two apartment buildings that they offer below market rent, but it's not subsidized. So there's CM Lalem, and then there is Fernwood House. And then they also have another place called Cedar House, but Cedar House is being, I think, renovated right now, renovated. And then I'm not too sure if they're going to be turning it into a program, like a place where they run program, because they ran programs from it for a while. But yes, CM Lalem is on Gorge Road, and I'm not too sure exactly where Fernwood House is, but they both have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments that they offer for Indigenous families.
Amazing.
Oh, and then we also have the library, our Bruce Parisian library, which is great for Indigenous authors and books to read. It is phenomenal for somebody that really loves holding a book and reading it. I go in there quite a bit, but there it's like $1 for the year membership, and you can go in and have a look, and they really try hard to obviously all support Indigenous authors. But I believe it's like the highest Indigenous content.
Yes, in Victoria.
Yeah, in Victoria, if not more, if not further across. But yeah, it's a great space to be. It's a great space. And I believe they're just
that can be accessed publicly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think currently, until we hear further, I think they're what should you call it, refurbishing the library. But hopefully, I would say come January. Yes, and if anybody is interested, I would phone the front reception and go that avenue and just say you're really interested in, the year pass, or just coming in to have a look at the books even. And it's a beautiful library. They've worked really hard on it. And then also we have a full working kitchen as well. John and his team, they support our program. They support many programs actually within the BNFC, because food is the center of everything that we do, right? And it's really important. It's always the first thing that is organized in any event is the food, to make sure that everybody is being fed. A lot of big teachings around, feeding people and eating and talking and carrying those words that you're then taught, that you're learning together. You're carrying it always in you. So food's always at the center. And we have a beautiful food program here as well, which is great, that they do catering and bigger events as well, which is nice. Our program?
Yeah, I think that's it for programs.
Okay, great. Our program. So Kakasquikla means precious and sacred in Sinchothan. When Joe and I first started working within the daycare, we had just built the daycare itself, and we worked from the ground up to now support about 52 families in our community. We run with almost 18 staff always. We currently partner with, and that's another big piece. So not only our program, but many programs within the BNFC have huge, work really hard on their partnerships as well, and funders. And we're still really navigating the funding piece, but also our partnerships. So our program partners with COSIN on many levels, but really narrows in and focuses on the early years program, the ELC program. And we have 3 right now going. We out of our staff, we have 8 staff currently being educated to obtain a higher education of early years childhood development or ELC programming. And we think it's really crucial. We like to be given a platform where we get to talk about the importance of early years, because I feel like it's a still missed conversation. I feel like our government's really pushing for new spaces to be built, which is great, but we need to have educators in order to have those new spaces filled, right? And we need to start acknowledging the importance of early years and how setting children up for success developmentally, and not putting it like going beyond daycare, like calling it early years education, because that's exactly what it is, right? And we have this beautiful ability to pair our Indigenous ways of knowing and being with the space of ELC as well. Sorry, in ELC, I don't know, did I say that? Is learning, early learning and care, just in case. The acronyms get a little bit much sometimes, yeah, especially here. And so we have a food program. Our children are always fed, so same with our staff, because role modeling really good nutritious eating is really important for us. We have 2 elders, wisdom keepers on within our program 3 days a week. We have the Sea to Stream program that we run, and we have our salmon eggs that come, and then we get to release them into the Colquitt's Creek, which is a really cool program. We have, we work with the Conservatory of Music, and they come in and once a week to teach, the importance of music, right? And this is the start of our conversation as well, how you and I met in music. And it's really important. It's like the international way for everybody to connect, to be honest. We always bring a lot of music through. We're starting to start our learning circles again, and hopefully our parent circles, where it's a space for our parents to connect, because we find that working in a very fast-paced world, not a lot of people get time to connect. So we really make sure to put on food, to welcome their children, to welcome the parents in, to give them a little bit of a night free. And they can come in and enjoy just the space. We always ask our educators to be present as well. So then we can just start, building our relationships, which is key, having these big conversations about why there has to be safety here,
I was thinking about something, but I lost it. So
sorry, I know.
No, it's all good. The programming is so robust. It's incredible. And I think that's something that's not really well known. It's this huge community within a community. So
yes, it really is. It really is.
Sorry.
And there's always a lot going on, right? And navigating the different layers of how to best support. Because to be honest, working at a level as such, there's not a lot of base funding that goes on. So not only do you have to do all of these roles and support from the ground up, but you also have to be mindful that there is specific funding that comes into this as well. There's navigating these big partnerships. There's many conversations that we have at all different levels. So yeah, it's good. It all takes some time, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, so for our audience, again, you can donate through this program, but you can also donate directly to the Victoria Native Friendship Center. And can you earmark which program, or does it go directly?
They can, if they want to donate to a certain program, they certainly can ask for that when they donate. They can be specific to which program. And all the programs are listed on the website, which is vnfc.ca. And on the left-hand side, there's a tab that says programs and services, and they can look at all the different programs and what they do and what they offer.
Excellent. Okay. And then in terms of, if we're talking non-monetary donations of time or ways to get involved or to learn, can you speak to some of those opportunities?
I was like, keep going, Joe.
And I don't know what it looks like right now because of COVID and the fact that we're just starting up all our programs again, but they during non-COVID times, they do offer volunteering services where they have people volunteering. Mostly it's in the library, but there are other programs that you can volunteer with. And when it's non-COVID times, they do partnerships with for conferences and stuff, which one of the big ones was Gov, Gathering Our Voices, and they look for volunteers for that kind of stuff as well.
And also I forgot two programs. So the hamper program was quite new through COVID. Sorry, to backtrack a little bit, because it is like such a necessity that we found, especially through COVID. And we had, Carrie that worked really, really hard to support the hamper program that was delivering hampers 3 times a week to all of our community members. And bagging the hampers and make sure that they're getting out to the right people. And it was pretty phenomenal, actually. And they're starting it up again. And then also, I'm not sure if we're running it because I haven't heard, but last year we ran shelter all the way through as well, because obviously homelessness is a big thing happening right now. So that really helped and supported as well. And we normally do the extreme weather shelter.
Extreme weather protocol.
Yeah, extreme weather protocol, where if there's extreme weather, then we open up the doors. There's hot meals, and everybody can find a safe space for the night, if not for the day as well. Yeah. And then the volunteer. So sorry, and then jumping back to the conversation we had before. Volunteering can be, if people are interested in volunteering, it's normally through the front reception once again. Just because then they can navigate what everybody's where the need is as well, because we communicate through to the front. And then, yeah, and along the lines of learning or being a part of what's happening, we were running, like there would be, I would say maybe stick to our website if there's things being offered, and then building relationships that way. You know, if people want to give their time, then they just start building those relationships, which are really key. And then that normally leads to other things as well.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Great. Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much because this, I mean, what you do is so inspiring, but it's also, it happens within sort of this community that we don't often see what's going on. And so I just commend both of you for starting this amazing program in the last 5 years and building that support in. And then, yeah, I just, I want to encourage our audience that again, this is just for November, but it doesn't mean that you can't donate at any time of the year to either directly or through us and earmark that. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedules. I know there's, as children knock on the door and the phone rings, we can tell that you are working very hard. And so we thank you for that. And thanks for serving the community. Great. Well, we'll say goodbye and see you next week. And Rebecca and Joe, I will see you hopefully outside of this as well.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.